Welcome to Do-It-Yourself Skincare for dry and mature skin. My name is Elizabeth Heck. I'm an herbalist and I have my own line of all-natural skincare. You can create amazing skincare yourself at home that is far superior to anything you can purchase at the store. In this course, we'll be using healing, beneficial botanicals and nourishing ingredients, leaving out the preservatives, harsh chemicals, and additives found in most commercial products. Your skincare will be safe and it will be healthy. Most importantly, it will be highly effective with lasting results. We'll be discussing what you need to include to address fine lines, wrinkles, sun damage, dry skin, and aging. The skills you'll learn will allow you to create a complete regimen for ultimate beauty and radiant health. We'll also go over the other ways besides topical application that you can get the best possible skin. Creating your own skincare is easier than you think. Anyone can do it, and it's fun and it's creative, and the cost savings are substantial. So join me in this empowering course where we learn how to care for our beauty and our health. Welcome to Do-It-Yourself Skincare for mature and dry skin. My name is Elizabeth Heck. I'm an herbalist and I have my own line of all-natural skincare. You can create amazing skincare at home that is far superior to anything you can purchase at the store. In this course, we'll be using healthy, beneficial botanicals and nourishing ingredients, leaving out the preservatives, harsh chemicals, and additives found in many commercial products. Your skincare will be safe and it will be healthy. Most importantly, it will be highly effective with lasting results. We'll be discussing what you need to include to address fine lines, wrinkles, sun damage, dry skin, and aging. You'll learn the skills to create a complete regimen for ultimate beauty and radiant health. We'll also go over some of the other ways besides topical application that you can get the very best skin. Creating your own skincare is easy, fun, creative, and the cost savings are substantial. So join me in this empowering course where we learn how to care for our beauty and our health. The next part of our regimen is a facial steam. Steams seem to be underappreciated for some reason. You don't see them packaged and sold at the beauty counters, and you don't even often see them offered as part of a professional facial. They happen to be my favorite part of the regimen. I don't use them every day. I might use them weekly or even monthly if I don't have a lot of time. I definitely always use them before a special event. And even if I'm running late, I will always find an extra 5 minutes to fit one in. I love how it makes my skin feel afterwards. Very clean, refreshed, very rejuvenated. What's happening with the facial steam is that the steam opens the pores and allows the volatile oils of the herbs to penetrate the skin for a real deep cleanse. It also helps bring the beneficial oils to the surface of the skin and helps to bring circulation to the surface of the skin as well. Really a lot going on with the facial steams in terms of feeding the skin, nourishing the skin, and cleansing the skin all at the same time. So I have chosen 3 different herbs here to do all of those tasks, and a nice balance of the rejuvenating and cleansing herbs. First we have rose. These are dried rose petals, and it's amazing that they still smell very aromatic even though they're dried. Rose petals are doing a lot in this formulation. They're regenerative, so they help the skin cells regenerate. It's also a very hydrating herb to put in your facial steam, and it helps balance the oils of the skin and is also very nourishing. Lovely herb to put into this formulation. This is 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to go ahead and add that to our mixing bowl. And next we have calendula. Calendula is one of the most healing botanicals, and you see it in a lot of skincare formulations, and I put it in a lot of my skincare formulations just for that reason. The calendula helps boost the collagen of the skin, and as I said, very healing, and it does have some of those antibacterial qualities to it, so that's where we're getting the cleansing part of this formulation. This is 1/3 of a cup. Going to put that into our mixing bowl. Next we have lavender. This is really, really aromatic and dried and still very aromatic. The lavender is very calming to the system. It's a nervine, but not one of those that makes you sleepy. Just one of those that just makes you very relaxed and feel good in a really good way. This is antibacterial, and that's why we're adding it to this formulation, and does a lot of good work that way. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. And if you can see this, it's absolutely beautiful. The colors and the aroma right now is just really, really nice. And that's why it makes such a lovely gift, but you're going to want to use it yourself. Once we have all of this mixed up, we are going to want to store it somehow. Since there is no liquid in this formulation and no water or anything that can cause bacteria to get into the herbs, it will last for a really long time. Last for even a couple of years if stored properly. So you want to make sure that when you store it in something airtight. So it can be as simple as a baggie, as long as it's Ziploc, airtight. Or you can use even a ball jar, like a canning jar, which is what I'm going to be using today. Or if you do want to give it away as a gift, you can find some kind of fun container to put it into. I'm going to go ahead and put this into my storage container. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to be sure to label it and cap it tight. And to use your steam is really quite simple. It's as simple as it is to make. So you're going to take a bowl, put about a nice heaping tablespoon of your plant material in the bowl. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then I'm going to take some hot water. So this is water that I've boiled on the stovetop in a pan. And I'm going to add that to my bowl. Fill it up about halfway or so. A little more, a little less, that's okay. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to take a towel, put my head over the steam, and if it gets too hot I can always open up the towel a little bit, or I can lift my head further away from the bowl a little bit. But the idea behind the steam is to release those volatile oils that will penetrate into the pores, and as it steams the pores will open and take in those herbs. It's really quite lovely. In fact, the aroma is so nice, I always save my bowl afterwards and leave it on my kitchen countertop for a couple of days even, and so I can smell that aroma as I walk by, and it is really quite nice. So to do my steam, I'm going to take a towel, place it over my head, and steam for about 5 minutes or so. You can do a few more minutes if you like, if you have more time, that's just fine. And when I'm done, I'm going to actually rinse my skin with some nice lukewarm water and then proceed to the next step. So I will see you in the next video where we learn how to make and do a facial mask. Next, we're going to be formulating a toner specific for mature and dry skin. Toners are the most simple part of your regimen that you'll make, and it's a wonder why so many people skip right over them as a part of their regimen. They really are refreshing, and they do a lot of good work for our skin. They help clear additional residue after cleansing, and they really help balance a proper pH in the skin. You want that pH to be right around 5.5, give or take a little bit. Anything that's too low of a pH makes the skin too acidic, which means it will be too oily and can be prone to blemishes. Anything above that 5.5 or above about 6 or so, the skin starts getting too alkaline, which is very drying and can lead to additional premature aging. So we want to keep that right around 5.5 if we can. I like to use hydrosols for my toners. Hydrosols are created during the process of creating essential oils. Unfortunately, we can't make hydrosols ourselves without proper training and equipment, but thankfully we can purchase them. This formulation that we're making today only has 2 hydrosols, so it's very simple to make. The first one is helichrysum, sometimes called immortelle or everlasting. You'll probably see 3 different names for it sometimes, but I like to call it helichrysum. And helichrysum is wonderful for healing and regenerating damaged skin. It also helps tone the skin, and it also helps boost collagen. So it's a wonderful addition to our formulation. I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup into my mixing jar. You could actually do your mixing right in your mixing cup, just stir it up really good, but I happen to like a ball jar, a canning jar, so I can shake it up really good, especially if I'm making a toner with a lot of ingredients in it. Then I'm going to add a rose hydrosol, and I use rose hydrosols for almost all of my toners. It does amazing work for all different skin types, and it also is one of the few hydrosols that has a nice aroma to it. Most of them really don't, which is surprising since they are so closely related to the essential oils, which are very aromatic. I have 3/4 cup of the rose hydrosol here, and it's the rose hydrosol which is really balancing the pH of the skin. It's also astringent, so it helps the pores appear smaller. A lot of people think of astringent as drying, but it really isn't. It's actually binding the tissues, and that's what's making the pores appear smaller. Rose really is actually very hydrating, and it's very nourishing to the skin. Rose is antimicrobial, so here we are with a feeding, nourishing ingredient, which is also cleansing the skin. So I'm going to add my 3/4 cup to my mixing jar, and I'm going to cap that and shake that up real well. I could just store this right in the mixing jar, but it is a clear bottle, so I'd want to make sure that I store it out of any sunlight. Store that in a cool, dark place. I'm going to store my toner in these jars, which are really nice because they already are dark, and they have a nice disc top, flip top on them, which I find really convenient. Now I could just pour my hydrosol right into that jar, but I happen to have a funnel. If you have a funnel, great. It'll make it a lot easier. I can pour that right in here. Now these hydrosols should last about 6 months or so if they're stored properly. They do last quite a while. There we have it. And of course, as always, I'm going to be sure to label my hydrosol with the name of what it is, the ingredients, and the date I made it. To use the hydrosol, I'm going to go ahead and put this on a cotton pad here. And make sure to use a cotton pad, not a synthetic pad. Synthetic pads can clog the pores. They can actually even cause some irritation. So I'm going to wipe that on my skin. Make sure to get all my skin real good. And it's nice to leave the skin a little damp before you put your moisturizer on as well, and really hold that hydrosol in. So next we are going to learn how to make a moisturizer.